It was 2007 when archaeologist Mark Hawley was on a mission in the cold, deep waters of Lake Michigan. He was scanning the seabed using sonar technology. His goal was to find an ancient sunken ship that had been missing for years. During this mission, instead of a shipwreck, he spotted a long line at the bottom of the lake. But he couldn't tell what it was from a screen. So Dr. Hawley donned scuba gear and dove underwater. Deep in the water, a sight awaited him that would change all accounts of human history. What did he see? There, on the lake's flat, sandy surface, was a perfectly straight line of large stones. The stones looked as if someone had placed them there by hand, as such a straight line would be impossible to form naturally. Seizing the opportunity, he swam along the line to see where it ended. After a few hundred meters, he reached a spot where the stones formed a perfect circle, with a deep ditch at the very end of the circle. This arrangement of rounded stones immediately reminded him of England's famous stone snatch. When news of this tiny stone snatch spread worldwide, it caused a media storm. It was said that the structure was perhaps 10,000 years old, meaning it was 5,000 years older than the original stones. People began to think it might have a religious or spiritual purpose. But Dr. Hawley had other ideas. He believed the media was focusing too much on the circular pattern, but the real secret lay in a mile-long, straight line of stones. As Dr. Hawley was trying to solve this mystery, a similar discovery was made in another Great Lake, shedding new light on the mystery. In 2009, anthropologist John O'Shea of the University of Michigan published a research paper. Based on this research, he discovered a similar line of stones 300 kilometers away in Lake Huron. John concluded that these stone lines were actually created thousands of years ago by ancient hunters. These are called drive lines. Thousands of years ago, native people in North America hunted animals called caribs. Animals have a very strange habit of always following a straight line or path. So, what ancient hunters did was to create a straight line of stones so that the caribs would follow them and come straight to that circular area. Hunters would hide behind the stones near this circular area, and the animals would be trapped by the deep ravine ahead, preventing them from running further. This way, humans could easily hunt these large animals. Dr. Hawley was now completely convinced that what he saw in Lake Michigan was also a drive line. Another such astonishing story occurred in 2023 when a British oil company was searching for new oil and gas fields with its ship in the Mediterranean Sea. The ship was about 55 miles from the Israeli coast. They were taking pictures of the seafloor by sending an advanced robotic vehicle 1 mile below the ocean surface. Initially, the robot simply sent images of ordinary sand and stones. But suddenly, the engineers saw something very strange on the screen. They spotted a mound at the bottom of the ocean, buried in small, strange objects. It looked more like debris than a natural mound. They immediately called the Israeli Antiquities Authority to help solve this mystery. Upon examining the images, they discovered hundreds of clay pots and jars that had sunk into the sand over time, creating the appearance of a mound. But where did these pots come from in the middle of the ocean? When a robotic camera was sent to the site and further images were taken, one of the images revealed the massive mound resembling a shipwreck. Upon further scanning, a 40-foot-long ship was indeed visible buried beneath the pots. The challenge was how to safely retrieve these delicate pots from such depths so that their age could be estimated. The IAA, in collaboration with a company specialized in lifting such delicate objects, sent down a special robotic vehicle. Finally, they managed to retrieve some of the pots. Surprisingly, some material remained inside them. Researchers believe they might have held olive oil, agricultural products, or wine, but this was not accurately determined. However, when the pots were carbon dated, the results were astonishing. These pots were found to be 3,300 years old. This meant they were the oldest shipwrecks found in deep water in history. While this discovery shocked the entire world, it also proves that sailors thousands of years ago were using them. Navigation technology was far more advanced than we realized at the time. The Mediterranean Sea is no small ocean. It stretches over 1 million square miles, and its waves can be extremely dangerous. It's almost magical to think that 3,000 years ago, people built ships capable of withstanding these extreme conditions. On a cold December morning in 1938, a fisherman on the South African coast set out to sea for his daily catch. But that day, along with the fish, his net caught a creature he had never seen before in his 30 years of experience. A 5-foot-long, glistening blue creature that looked like something from another world. The strangest thing about it was that its upper part resembled a fish, but there were also 4 hard legs underneath. When it was shown to fish experts for investigation, they were incredulous at first. A fish species that had become extinct 60 million years ago had been caught alive from the ocean. This fish, called the coelacanth, is an alien creature compared to other common fish because of its structure. The fins of common fish are flexible and delicate. However, the coelacanth's 4 fins are made of flesh and bones, resembling animal legs. This fish moves these legs alternately in the water, as if a horse is walking. It is the only living creature in the world with a joint inside its head, allowing it to fully raise its upper jaw when hunting. This allows it to easily swallow large prey. Additionally, it has a special organ near its nose called the rostral organ. It can sense even the slightest electrical currents in the water. Because it lives in deep, dark water, it doesn't need to see its prey. It finds prey solely through electrical currents. Amazingly, 99% of its skull is filled with fat, and the actual brain occupies only 1% of the space. This fat protects its body and brain from ocean pressure. And finally, while most fish lay eggs, the coelacanth broods its eggs within its body, and when the young are fully formed, it gives birth to live young. Scientists had known about the coelacanth almost 100 years before this live fish was discovered. In the 19th century, excavations in Europe and elsewhere uncovered fossils of fish that were unrelated to any fish living. Today, carbon dating of these fossils and the rock layers they were found in investigations revealed that it originated 400 million years ago and suddenly ceased to exist 65 million years ago. Coelacanth fossils were found in the same rocks where fossils of dinosaurs like T. rex have been found. Beyond a layer of soil 65 million years old, no coelacanth fossils have been found anywhere else in the world. Based on this, science believed that when the large asteroid hit the Earth, wiping out the dinosaurs, this fish also died out. Coelacanth belonged to tetrapods that can swim in water and walk on land. Therefore, finding a fish thought to be extinct 650 million years ago alive was truly astonishing. After 3 days of digging, at a depth of about 15 feet, farmer Young Jofa's shovel suddenly struck something with such force that the loud sound silenced everyone. As Young carefully removed the soil, 2 eyes stared at him from the dark depths. It was the head of a clay statue. Young picked him up and brought him back to the village. But instead of celebrating, the entire village was thrown into panic, as people believed that statues emerging from the ground were a bad omen. When the Chinese government learned of this, they began excavations and discovered not just 1 or 2, but over 8,000 clay statues of soldiers. These soldiers had different faces, hair, and uniforms, and they were even found holding real bronze weapons. This was actually the immortal army of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, which the emperor had commissioned so that these soldiers could protect him after his death. It was one of the world's greatest and most valuable archaeological discoveries. But the fears of those poor farmers proved true. The government expelled all the villagers, confiscated their land, and built a large museum there. We hope you enjoy this video and share it. Thank you very much for your kind comments. See you in the next great video.